Before we jump into episode 3, I just want to say a massive thank you to anyone and everyone that has been listening to the podcast so far. It's really encouraging to know that people are out there listening and enjoying these conversations as much as I'm enjoying recording them and bringing them to you. While you're there, I would also encourage you to go and check out the Instagram at Collecting Heroes. It's a great resource where I'll be posting not only pictures from my own collection, but also pictures from the collectors that I'm interviewing, including the one that you're about to hear right now. This was recorded in 2021, back when I was in the planning phases. Most of the things that I'm recording now are probably more current. So if you do hear references to 2022 being in the future, that's why. But with that being said, let's get into the episode number 3. G'day and welcome to the Collecting Heroes podcast. I'm your host, JD. Today, I'm really excited for our next guest because he has been collecting for many years. And I saw him on YouTube for a while back and thought I have to chat to this guy. So please help me say howdly doodly to our next guest, Bart McNall. How you going, Bart?
Oh, good day. Not bad. How about you?
Yeah. I'm great. So Bart isn't your actual first name. That's Travis, right?
Yeah, but shh. I go by Bart now. I don't know that name anymore.
Fair enough. So when was it, like, was that something you like in through high school or earlier?
Before that.
Before
Before
that?
that. Yep.
And so obviously because of your passion for The Simpsons, which obviously anyone else listening probably already knows by now, that's who we're talking about. Because of your passion for The Simpsons, that was where the nickname came from. And so tell us a little bit about The Simpsons and how you came to love them. When did you first see The Simpsons?
The April 19th of 1987 on the Tracy Ullman Show shorts. It was like a minute or so long. I remember watching the first short then. Back then, I didn't watch every short, but little by little, in roughly 1988-ish, I saw the first Butterfinger commercial on the TV. I called him like the yellow kid back then. I didn't know his name yet, And then December 17th of 89, the Christmas special is going to air. So, well, we'll watch it, like being a kid, we like our cartoons. So I watched it and I heard in January of 90, going to air a regular series. So, well, like anything else, you want to try it out. You like it, you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and by that March, I got hooked and started collecting by that spring/summer.
Wow. So you've literally been collecting from the very start. So you watched it from the start and you've been collecting from the very start.
Yep. I've seen every single episode. As of now in USA, they've aired 706 episodes.
700. And it's actually that makes it the longest running animated sitcom ever on TV, right?
Yep. Yes, sir. Yep.
That's just animated though. That's not actual event or sitcoms. That's just animated.
No, yeah. And they say it's the longest running series in TV history. You got your news shows and your wrestling shows that last longer, but this is actual TV shows.
32 seasons.
Yep. It just ended a week ago last Sunday here, I guess. I'm not sure about elsewhere around the world.
Wow. There's probably a lot of people who end up listening to this episode that haven't even been around as long as The Simpsons have been on TV, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Makes me feel a little bit older as well, because I actually remember seeing them when I was only a young boy as well. I never saw the Tracy Ullman Show. It wasn't really something that reached Australia, but for the TV show, it did come out here in 1990. I was one of those kids who was hooked on it as well, and all the kids were talking about this great new show, how funny it was, and Homer is such a character. Bart, I thought Bart was cool. Don't have a cow, man. All that sort of thing. I became hooked as well. I mean, they had everything came out at the time, like was all the ads and the TV show. They had the Bartman single that came out in the early 90s as well. I mean, they've just become such a large part of pop culture. As I said, people who are younger than you or I who would have grown up only knowing The Simpsons on TV. But for us, it was this wholly different animated series to anything we'd ever seen before.
It's like the internet or cell phones today, because they never knew it was life before that, and we
That's right.
do.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And so with your collection, was that something that you decided from a young age that I just want to have everything Simpsons? Like you just became
Yeah.
obsessed early on, or you just sort of had a few pieces that you were grabbing here and there, and as you got older, you realized, hang on, this is maybe becoming a thing.
Probably little things here and there, and I collect the appropriate stuff. No dirty stuff. Because one day I like to start a museum, and maybe for field trips for kids, maybe can come see it, and I don't have to worry about hiding anything or covering up or anything. Being a Christian, I want to keep stuff clean and appropriate and all that. So
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And I mean, look, I mean, it is a PG show, so I can understand. And you're in Indiana, so you would obviously be wanting to make a little museum down there for that.
yeah,
Like, and how many pieces do you have? Like, I mean, when you talk about making a museum, what
as of
kind of
as of now,
yeah,
4,599
4,500. That's crazy.
different pieces.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. 4,599 of those pieces. Like you said, different pieces. What would be the most common theme, like in terms of like Simpsons merchandise that they bring out? What would you say is the most common thing that you find in the stores?
Usually involving Bart. Usually he's the most merchandise Simpson out there, even though right now Homer may be the most big time popular character now, the
Hmm.
top character. But back in the first few seasons, Bart was the main character.
Hmm.
And then they made more Bart Simpson stuff and then any other stuff. And I think to this day, you may see more Homer stuff out there, but I think Bart's still the most widely made stuff out there.
Yeah, okay. Myself, I would have just assumed that Homer would be in the most, but obviously, you being a collector, you'd have a better idea of
Yeah.
that. And wow, but like, but I also remember that yes, definitely when, as I said, like when I was a child watching that, it was really focused a lot around Bart. There was a lot
Yep.
of Homer jokes that were happening, but Bart was
Yep.
very much a focus, especially in the advertising. So I do remember that as well. Do you get a lot of pizzas that are gifted to you from friends and family, or do you buy a lot of things off eBay? Where do
Yeah.
you source them mostly from?
Usually eBay, of course. It's sad to say, but you don't find much merchandise out there now. I go to the mall now and then. It's like an hour from me. I might find a few pieces here and there, mainly Homer, which is fine. I send links from eBay to family and friends for birthday/Christmas items.
Mhm.
And my younger brother is usually pretty good at getting me the stuff I'm looking for.
My girlfriend, when she was buying me stuff for Christmas, I ended up actually going out and buying most of the stuff myself. And I said,
Yeah.
a budget,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Here you go, just you wrap them and give them to me, and that'll be my Christmas present." Because most people would just think, if I pick this up, for your example,
Yeah.
if I pick this up and give it to Bart, he's probably already going to have this. So
Yeah. That's happened. That's
the only
happened.
way is for you to really know them. And how do you keep track of that? Like when you're searching something on eBay, how do you know that this version of something is not the same version that I've already got? Like especially when you have over 4,000 pieces, like you said,
Yeah.
4,599, wasn't it?
Yep.
So
Yep.
when you've got that many pieces, how do you keep track of that?
For some reason, I just know not repeated or not. Usually, I know, but I have a list. I forgot to bring it here, but I have a list copied twice of every single item I've written down that I have.
Okay.
I write everything down as I buy it, and it's categorized, and one's locked away in a safe, and the other one's just hidden somewhere else at my place.
Okay.
Everything is all insured, so God forbid something were happen, it's insured.
Well, that's good. That's smart. Is there a lot of stuff that's stored elsewhere as well? I mean, is that
Yeah,
your whole? Because I imagine from what I've seen, that's not everything that's on display.
no. What's at my place is like 15-ish%. The rest of it's put away in storage at a safe place.
Wow. Okay.
And I
And
did bring some.
do
Go
you
ahead.
swap do you swap those things around occasionally? Do you go like every year you sort of go, oh, you know what, I might display some of these pieces, or you just have some of your favorites
Rare,
and you leave those out?
kind of rarely. Once in a great while, I'll move stuff around, but I'm kind of like OCD type thing, keep everything in its place. And
Yeah. When you're trying to keep them clean as well, do you have like a sort of a routine for dusting and cleaning them as well?
uh, yes and no. It just depends on the day. So, and we get inspections at our apartments now and then, and she's really impressed of how much stuff I have, and she really likes it, the landlady.
Yeah.
And this is the number one item I'm looking for in my collection. It's this Bart costume, as you see right here.
And for the people
from
listening,
Universal,
he's showing a
Universal
photo
Orlando.
with from Universal Orlando, like you just said, someone in the Bart costume. So that's your number one.
That
If
I'm
I could
looking
have any
for.
item right now, that's the number one item you want to collect.
And obviously, I won't use it to promote a business or display it, like wear it outside of
No,
the
you just
place,
want it
because
for your collection,
I'll be
right?
representing them if I were to wear it outside public, but I'll just display it in my collection to say. And
Yeah.
I'll have to minute it now and then. I'll probably have to put it on now and then at my place and just
just sit there
indoor
and
Halloween party maybe.
watch Simpsons. Yeah, Halloween, that'd be a great
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah. And
So
I even tried out for that job twice at Universal, and I'm actually the right height to be Bart at Universal Orlando.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it past the first part of the audition, but whenever one pops up, if I've got the money, I may go back down and try out for it.
It's a bit of a trip down to Orlando for you, I imagine. It's a couple hours.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
plane or a car?
I fly.
Okay, you fly down. Okay.
Love to fly. Love to fly.
And because I've also been to Universal in Japan and in LA. LA.
I've been to LA. I've been to LA's. Yeah, I've been there once.
LA having a Simpsons land. Japan doesn't have a Simpsons land. They actually have a Minions land. I think would probably be their equivalent of the Simpsons land. But the Simpsons land, I absolutely loved that in LA. How would you compare the two? Like, what's your favorite one, the LA or the Orlando?
Orlando. But when I went to LA in September 2014, they were building Springfield at the time. They only had the ride and the gift shop and the characters at the time. I love to go back, but with this COVID thing, but it's getting better here now. I'm fully vaccinated, but here California is still kind of shut down from what I hear.
Yeah.
And Florida's is all open up.
I understand. It's obviously been very hard for a lot of people. Myself, I actually had a trip planned. I was supposed to be at San Diego Comic-Con for 2020.
Yeah, I never been there.
I had tickets for that, and as part of that, I was going to be going back through to Disneyland and then up to Universal again.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to have done that trip. Obviously, like many people, couldn't.
You had to go to Universal.
But I can't wait to go back. I mean, they've actually got a Super Mario Land that's just opened in the Universal.
Oh
in
yeah,
Japan.
yeah.
So I'd love to go and check that out because I love Super Mario as well. That was one of my favorite video games as a kid. So in Orlando, what's one of the favorite rides that you would have, there?
The Simpsons ride.
Simpsons ride, of course. But do they have multiple rides in that land?
Yeah. I know somebody that works there. I got in for free a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
He took me on the Men in Black ride. That's okay. And the Mummy ride ain't bad. I've been on that. I'm not much of a roller coaster guy. I don't like heights that much. But for some reason, I love to fly.
Yeah.
But other than Simpsons, I like the Rocky Horror Makeup Show. It's a comedy/horror thing they do there.
Yeah.
And I did watch the Beetlejuice there once years ago, but they don't do that anymore there. That wasn't bad.
I love
Fear Factor. They had Fear Factor there. They don't have that there anymore in Florida. That was good.
Wow. I hope you get to go back and visit again soon. That would be great. I want to go back though and also talk about your collection in terms of the size of your collection, because one of the things I noted, obviously, you mentioned about having 4,599 pieces. Is that currently the Guinness World Record is listed as someone in Australia, Cameron Gibbs, with 2,580 pieces.
Yes.
And also, when I was actually doing research and came across you online, the way I found you was via a couple of YouTube clips from a local news network that was interviewing you. There was some comments in there about a guy called Glyn Williams from the UK who was actually featured in the 20th anniversary special. He had 38,000 pieces, apparently.
I've heard that.
Although I actually was messaging him, and he did mention that he's now sold 99% of his collection.
Oh, wow.
And used it to fund an early retirement. So he doesn't have that collection anymore. He sold most of it individually through eBay.
Yeah.
It's gone out to various places. Who knows? You may actually have some of those pieces.
I may have one. If he had that many pieces, they have to be different. For Guinness, it can't be the same thing. It's got to be different.
But like I said, those YouTube videos were actually for you attempting to go for the Guinness World Record.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about that experience and what happened and why you're not currently listed as the Guinness World Record holder.
With this collection, when we did it back in 2015, we were tagging every piece. They wanted on video of every piece numbered, and I got Post-it notes. I can still have them, and to tag every item, and they want it on video. Now Guinness got with me and says they want every item on the list as well, recorded on film. And when you take the pictures, you need a date also on the picture with the tagged item, and then do every piece like that. And you need 2 witnesses that you do not know at all to see the collection and count it with you. And I did find 2 gentlemen, real nice guys, and we did it. But then when the news came over, we're actually finishing up the count. That's when they wanted to come over. And then when I did all this, they wanted like the list on the video and the date on the picture itself.
Yeah.
And we were attempting this last year, March. I got this building for free at a local within place here. A guy I used to work with, he went to this hotel, and he worked for this hotel, and the guy that owns the hotel is president of the school board, the school I worked for, and he owns this flea market. Well, anyway, I had a building for free, enough space to tag everything. I was start bringing stuff over, and everything's video and all that. I had no one to type it for me on the computer and type it and make the list. And then that got back me out. Of course, March of 2020 is when this COVID thing took off. So on top of that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I need to get with this gentleman again to see if I can get the building again, maybe next year, February and March. So I'd like to have 2 months and not 1 month.
So you do have a plan to hopefully eventually finish that process and get that submitted. I was wondering, because that was a few years ago that those videos were put up on YouTube. So I was wondering whether you'd been knocked back by Guinness or whether you just hadn't managed to finish the submission process. But obviously that's the latter.
And since then, I've reprinted out my application for Guinness. So if we do get this done, hopefully maybe next year, whenever, I can get the updated application for Guinness and then send all the pictures and even a video, flash drive video and all that stuff, and send it into them. And
wow. Well, I hope it works
on DVD. Thanks, man.
Yeah, because I have someone else that I'm going to be actually interviewing later for the podcast as well, who is another Guinness World Record holder. I know they went through a similar process where they had they actually were lucky enough to get a large space that they could lay everything out and actually have people help them count it. And I know it's quite a process. I have quite a few Batman pieces, but I definitely don't have a Guinness World Record quantity.
I wish I was at my place. I can have my stuff in my background at my place, but where I live there is Wi-Fi, but I'm not tech savvy that much, so I'm here at the library.
That's all right. That's okay. That's fine.
I did bring in a few pieces here.
Yeah. Show me those pieces. What did you bring in other than the photos?
This is actually from Australia. I got it from off eBay from 97-ish. It's pancake syrup.
I saw this in the pictures that you sent me. I was actually thinking about questioning that the pancake syrup.
Unopened.
Wow.
And then this is also from Australia. I don't know if you've seen this. It's clear cola.
No, I haven't.
Now, it's like unopened, but it's been bottom emptied.
Wow.
This is the most unique item I think I have in my collection is talcum powder.
It's got Bart on the
unopened.
Got Bart with a towel.
Yeah. The smallest doll I got in my collection that's plushy it's only like that big.
Yeah. But you've got some pretty big ones I've seen from the photos as well.
And the largest one, I don't know if you can see it over here.
Oh, you brought that with you?
Life size.
That's almost the size as you.
Yeah. If I stand it up, it goes up to here to me when I stand it up. So either it grew or I shrunk.
It's quite big. That's quite big. What would you say? I mean, you said you've got pieces from Australia. Would you say that there's any pieces that you've got that are kind of from an odd place, like that people wouldn't think to collect things from?
I got stuff in different languages as well. These books, got some in French and German, Spanish books. Oh, I do have a Hebrew poster of the Simpsons movie written in Hebrew.
Wow.
I do have that. Also have, once in a while, like once a month, I'll wear this Bart Simpson cologne. And it smells pretty good. Obviously, you can't smell you hear online, but this is my unopened one. So, and they also made one for the girls, for Lisa. So.
If
And
they ever bring smell-o-vision to podcasts, I don't know what smell.
maybe,
Maybe
yep.
we can find some to use.
And I also got a breakfast cereal here.
It's kind of like it's just like a Reese's, almost like a Reese's.
Yeah, it's really good. It was really good. And I got this foam soap here too. I brought in.
Wow, they actually did back in 1989 for the Batman movie, the Tim Burton Batman movie. They did cereal.
That's a good movie.
I never got to eat that cereal, but I know you can still buy it on eBay as well.
I did. I ate it back then.
Yeah. And was it good? Do you remember?
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Nice. And what would you say what would you say the oddest piece is? Like, do you have a piece that you're like, this is the weirdest Simpsons thing I've ever found?
This talcum parter, I believe, for me.
You would think, yeah?
Yeah, for me. Like, why? I wouldn't think they would ever make that. And also, this is kind of like another thing I would think they ever make is a chalk. Bart Simpson stick of chalk.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, when you think about the fact that at the start of the episode, he's writing on the chalkboard. Yep. So I guess it kind of makes sense. I tell you what, but one thing that I'm trying to do as well on the podcast here, obviously people who are obsessive collectors, is do something a little bit of fun and a little bit of a pop quiz. Would you be interested in doing a pop quiz?
I could do some quiz here real quick. I mean, awesome. I may not be an ace, but I might know some things.
That's all right. I've literally got about 5 questions for you. It's nice and quick.
That's fine.
I think you probably, after so many years of being an original Simpsons fan, I think you're probably going to know a lot of this information. So here we go. First question is, who founded the town the Simpsons live in?
Well, it's Jebediah Springfield, but then there's this one episode he had a different name, like Jebediah Sprungfield. He was actually a pirate. That they found out he was actually a pirate, and then changed his name to Springfield somehow. Then he founded Springfield.
I think I remember that episode. But
we said the iconist.
Jebediah Springfield, and extra points for that extra information as well. And because obviously being, us being collectors and this being a collection podcast, my next question is, what is the name of the doll that Smithers collects?
The dolls that he collects?
Yep.
Malibu Stacy.
Ding, ding. That's right. And
according to this episode, he has the largest collection in the world, in the Springfield world.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the name of the Simpsons cat?
Snowball 2. Well, they went through so many cats this one episode, and they went Snowball 3 and more, but they got another cat, and they just renamed it Snowball 2.
But I think from what I'd seen, there's actually a Snowball 5 now.
I think so.
From the Treehouse of Horror episode 28, I believe.
I think so, yep.
Yeah, but Snowball is correct. Most people might not know. Who voices Homer Simpson?
Dan Castellaneta.
And can you name another character that he voices?
He does so many on the show. I know he does the dog voice. If you hear the dog voice, then here's some of Homer's half sisters or whatever. That one episode when he went to England, he did that voice.
Yeah,
I think he does Radioactive Man, but don't quote me on that. I don't follow as much on him as I do a couple of the other characters, but
fair enough.
He does so many.
But Dan Castellaneta is correct. So last question, number 5, and you're obviously perfect so far. What is the real name of the comic book guy?
Jeff Albertson.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. I actually, when I was doing research for this, I found that out myself. Honestly, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm sure if we were at a pub trivia quiz night and I needed someone for Simpsons trivia, I definitely think I'd want to have you on my table.
Oh, yeah.
But I've had a lot of fun chatting to you. Thank you very much for coming on
Likewise.
the show. I do wish you the best of luck again with obviously submitting to Guinness. You've got such a huge collection. It'd be awesome for you to get that recognition for that as well. So, as things pick back up post-COVID and you get the chance to do that, you'll have to let me know. You have to give me an update, if that does happen as well. I'd love to see that.
And before we close, my favorite episode of all time is Little Big Girl from 2007 in season 18.
What happens in that episode? Give me the quick.
Bart actually he saves the town from burning down, and the mayor gives him his anything he wants. He wanted a license, so he got a license to drive. He drove around to this other town, North Haverbrook, I believe, and find this older woman, and they end up dating and then almost got married, and then found out she was pregnant, and he thought he was the father. He wasn't the father. They were going to get married. So Homer and Marge and then her folks were going to stop the wedding, and they did. And a side story is Lisa was faking an Indian tribe that she was in.
This sounds like a classic Simpsons episode. But as I said, it's been great having you on. Thank you very much for joining me for the podcast.
Likewise.
How can people find you? Do you have social media that people can find you on?
Only Facebook. People want to get on Instagram and the other whatever. I just want to do Facebook for now, and okay. I'm more simple. But I'm not going to accept anybody on my Facebook. I'm kind of picky with who I accept.
That's all right. Do you have like a group or something that you run, or a fan group that people can join?
I do have a page. It's called Super Simpson Collectors. And in order to be in that page, you have to have 1,000 or more different pieces to be a part of that page.
Okay. So if anyone's listening and you have 1,000 Simpsons pieces, then
different or more.
Yeah, then definitely go and join that group. As I said, thank you very much for coming on. It's been great. And I can't wait to get an update when you finally get listed with the Guinness World Record.
Yeah, or something else maybe. So.
All right. Thank you.
No problem, man. Good day, mate. Goodbye, mate. Good day, mate.